On this video, we're going to look at how to set up the gain on your Zoom H5 recorder for any XLR mic out there. So in particular, we're looking at the Samson Q2U today, but you can translate this to any mic you wish to use with your Zoom recorder. So here we have our Zoom H5, our Samson Q2U microphone, and an XLR cable. And I'm going to show you how to set up the gain on the H5 with the Q2U, looking at what levels we would want to see popping up on the level gauges right here. So let's plug in the Q2U first. We're going to get the connector in here. And then we're going to get the opposite end in the Q2U. Okay, now we're going to select just input 1. So because we're just using one mic just now, we're just going to select 1. So we want the red light showing on 1. So I'm going to press 2 to turn that off. If you have two mics in, obviously, if you're using two Q2Us, you've got a two-way interview going, plug that one in as well, and you'll have 1 and 2. But for now, we're just doing 1. You would just repeat this for mic 2. And you can see on the gauge here, we've got 1 and 2. So these are the levels that we're looking to sort out. So we've got mic 1 up here and mic 2 here. Now I've got this in multi-recording mode right now. You can always change that using the menu button on the side. Going down to recording modes, you've got recording mode there using a little selector. Click that, and you've got multi-file or stereo file. Stereo file just creates, as it suggests, a stereo file with both left and right or both 1 and 2 in the one file. Multi-file, however, creates 2 or more separate files, one for each input. So you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a few more as well if you use some of the, like if you've got the H6, for example. But with the H5, you could have up to 4 there. But what we want is multi-file just now, just so that I've got more control over each channel. And that lets me select just one. If you're on stereo file, you can only have both of them on at the same time. So just now, I'm on multi-file. What I'm going to do is then bring the mic up to my mouth, and I'm going to start speaking. So you can see the levels there. Let me make sure this is in the middle. Right, here we go. We've got a clear view there. So I'm speaking into the mic, and that's actually pretty low right now. So you see how that is coming up to around -32. So it's barely visible. So that's way too quiet. So I'm going to adjust the gain. So it's on 4 there. Let's take it up to 6. Take it up to 6 and see what that's on. See now at 6, I can see that line, see that line right in the center, the one opposite the 1, that is going up quite a bit more. So if I just talk and I keep talking and I do a little test, and maybe I want to read something out of a book, you can see that little extra little dot, see that little dot that appears just at the end of the line, it kind of stays. That shows you what your kind of maximal recording level is right at that moment. That little dot, and I can see if I speak normally, so this is the normal level that I would speak at, and I'm just speaking and I'm speaking, and you have to kind of speak quite constantly to see what that level is. But that was around -12. But it is kind of low, so I might put it up even just a touch more. Maybe a 7. Let's see what it is at 7. Oh, see now I saw that peaked. So that's too high. You'll see that if I peak, the little red light, this little red light here, that flashes. So that's flashing there. If I speak particularly loud, that's flashing. So that's peaking. And you can see as well that the dot at the end here is filled in. That shows that I have peaked it. I've gone too loud. So that's too much. So maybe back down around there. And I'm speaking now, just doing a test bit. And that is about where I want it to be, somewhere between the -12 and the -6. So -12 and -6. And that's where you want it to be peaking with average speech. You probably want to be closer to the -12 just in case, because often normal speech, if you have that around -12, right there in the middle of the gauge, then when you laugh or you cough or you have a particularly exciting bit, then it'll go up to -6 or even close to peaking, but it won't quite peak. So you want to leave that decent bit of headroom there so that you've got plenty of space. So that's how you get your levels right. You want to have it somewhere between that -12 and -6, closer to the -12 on average if you can. So you can see that on a Zoom H5 with a Samson Q2U, you're looking at a level of around 6 there, and that'll be about right for you. So I hope that gives you an idea. And again, of course, you would repeat that for channel 2. You'd have that gain on about 6 as well, with the same mic. And that's what you would want to do. So this question, I hope this answers a question. This question actually came in through our Podcast Host Academy. One of our members was wondering how to set up their levels with the Q2U and the H5. So if you want any more help like this, any more specific help around particular types of setup, do pop over to the Podcast Host Academy and you can see us there, thepodcasthost.com/academy. You can join in, get live coaching. We'll make videos like this for you if you have particular questions. Otherwise, I hope that gave you an idea of how to set up a Zoom H5 with the Samson Q2U, and we'll see you in the future.